Welcome to St. Louis, the gateway for America's Midwest. Right now I'm standing in the arrivals lounge of Lambert International Airport, the airport that British Caledonian will be flying into 4 times every week non-stop from London Gatwick. And that's the first ever scheduled international service to fly into St. Louis. So what do you know about St. Louis? Not a lot? Okay then, just sit back and let me be your personal guide for the next 5 or 6 minutes. First of all, we're stopping off in the airport's departure lounge to check the flight information board. I'll bet you didn't know that St. Louis had so many great onward connections. Right now, there are flights scheduled for Burlington, Cape Girardeau, Carbondale, Champaign, Chicago, Columbia, Decatur, Des Moines, Evansville, Fort Leonard Wood, Harrison, Jacksonville, Jefferson City, Joplin, Kansas City, Kirksville, Marion, Moline, Mount Vernon, Paducah, Peoria, Poplar Bluff, Quincy, Springfield, Tulsa, and Wichita. If you want connections, we've got plenty. And St. Louis is a really relaxing alternative to all the hassle and overcrowding at Chicago. Here we are standing right next to the famous Mississippi River, just underneath St. Louis's most famous landmark, the Gateway Arch, a soaring stainless steel arch that dominates the skyline and symbolizes the part that St. Louis played as the nation's gateway for the pioneers who pushed the American frontier westward. This is the Frontier West, where the first pioneers drove their covered wagons beyond the Mississippi to settle and start new lives farming and raising cattle. And today, St. Louis is the great tourist gateway. You can move on to explore the Mark Twain and Daniel Boone country to the north and west, or the beautiful scenery of the Ozark Lake region to the southwest. But what's the weather like? Well, in the summer months, the temperatures soar into the 70s, although the evenings are usually much cooler. Personally, I like the spring and fall. The weather's beautiful, and the city has a great freshness about it. Oh yes, and another thing, we don't get too much rain over here. St. Louis is one of the USA's most important ports. Situated where the mighty Mississippi and Missouri rivers meet, it controls this great north-south artery. And the rivers bring St. Louis an amazing diversity of interests. It has industry. St. Louis manufactures shoes, beer, chemicals, and aircraft. It produces iron, zinc, lead, copper, aluminum, and magnesium. And St. Louis is one of the world's largest markets for wool, timber, grain, and livestock. Some of the world's largest companies have offices here. Companies like Chrysler, Monsanto, Ford, 3M, General Motors, and McDonnell Douglas. Yes, today St. Louis is a vital business center, standing at the crossroads of America. Downtown St. Louis, and if you're looking for action, there's plenty of it here. Every kind of restaurant to choose from the finest gourmet cuisine to the typical American diner. You can eat in Bavarian, German, Italian, French, Middle Eastern, Chinese, Polynesian, and Japanese restaurants, as well as several Old English establishments where you can enjoy everything from a thick roast beef sandwich to a full Henry VIII banquet. Or for the fun of it, you can try a showboat dinner on a genuine Mississippi riverboat. And then there's theater, concerts, discotheques, jazz clubs, everything you need to make your stay go with a swing. Here we are at the Bush Memorial Stadium, home of the world-famous St. Louis Cardinals, watching America's national sport, baseball. Today's match is between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. But there's more to St. Louis than just baseball. You can also watch American football, ice hockey, soccer, horse racing, harness racing. Or for those of you who enjoy participating rather than watching, there's the magnificent Dwight Davis Tennis Center and many, many beautiful golf courses. Over the past few minutes, I've tried to bring you an idea of what St. Louis is all about, the sights and sounds of the city. And from April 30th, you'll be able to fly here non-stop from London by British Caledonian. But I suppose, after all is said and done, St. Louis is most famous for its blues. Well, I can tell you that today, St. Louis is playing a different tune, and it goes like this.
I found a better way to fly. I found a better way to touch the sky. British Caledonia, a better way to fly.